So hi everyone, we're back like we never left before. I trust you had a wonderful time. Thank you very much for staying with us and welcome back from our lunch break. So right about now we'll be going to the panel session and we're here with amazing people. We have Tinola, we have Mr. Philip Dick, we have Charlotte Dick, and we also have Ifeimi Dunu. And it's going to be an amazing time, I promise you. Please do all to get ready your questions if you have any questions. But right now, I have some questions packed for them and I want to ask them. So please do all to have a wonderful time. And the next voices you'll be hearing are our beautiful speakers. Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Hi. Please, let's. All right. So, in one sentence,
What does inclusion mean to you? So I'll just give me one word, just one sentence or one line. What does inclusion mean to you? So I just want everybody to give me one line each. Thank you.
okay.
Yes.
Safe space.
Inclusion to me means acceptance.
Different, not less. That's powerful. That's very powerful.
One word.
Or a sentence.
Done.
Or a sentence. If you can
Okay, no problem. So I have a question for some specific persons, and I'd like you to answer. So since you starting with you, the question is: as an advocate and influencer, how do you navigate online spaces to shift public perceptions about autism?
Um. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story. There was something my sister did one time, and I was really angry. And I saw the comment section, and people were saying, "You have to spank her. You have to put her in a place. You have to tell her that even if she's an adult, she cannot just do anyhow." And I actually responded to one person. I said, "You can't just treat them like that. I can't treat her like she's a goat. Why are you saying I should spank her? I should beat her? She's a human. She's not an animal." So I tried to make them understand that, in as much as she's an adult, she's grown, but she still has the mentality of a child sometimes, and you don't just treat her like she knows what she's doing. Although she do know what she's doing sometimes, but no, we don't do that. So I had to shift the perspective. Like, no, you can't treat her like I should spank her or beat her. No. So that's how I do it sometimes when they say it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for answering that question. So I have a question for you, ma'am. And the question is, so running an autism focused organization is deeply strenuous, very stressful and demanding. So how have you been able to sustain your passion and prevent burnout?
That's an interesting question. It's evolving, so it is empowering other people in the area of human resource training. So it is getting to train other people. It is giving other people within my organization more responsibility because they've received more training. And then, of course, I have an outlet, and I'm an avid sailor. Um, so every Saturday I'm on the water with my husband. It is a sport that you do that entertains no distraction. So that is how that's how I let my hair down, and that's how I rejuvenate. Yes, because I enjoy absolutely doing it. I don't even swim. That's the irony of it. I don't swim, but I hop on the boat every Saturday. Yes, absolutely. As long as you can hike out.
Okay. Same question for you as well.
Okay, repeat the question for me, please.
Okay, so as someone who is running an organization towards giving awareness for autism, how are you able to prevent burnout and also keep your passion going?
So I think it's really important to think about self-care. So I think it's quite easy to get caught up in the moment in an organization. Something like autism is a it's a lived experience for me. So I have two children with autism, as well as trying to support other parents to navigate autism, the world of autism. Um, So I think so. I'm not great at it. So people who are watching it that know me will say, and I'm sure Mrs. Nkechi will say, I don't take time out. I'm trying. I'm not perfect, but I would say that it's knowing other parents who have children with special needs is really important to take that time out, especially if you're trying to run a busy, successful organization. It's about making sure that you look after yourself as well as looking after other people. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for that. I sincerely appreciate that. So I have a question for you, sir. And the question is, was there a defining moment or are there defining moments for you that led you to be an advocate?
Growing up in Nigeria, make I know the ins and outs of what a Nigerian mind is all about, the culture, the beliefs, and the expectation, especially with regards to respect and all whatnot. I went to Europe. I grew up there as well. I mean, part of my life is also there, understanding what avenues are available for every other person. And I looked back and I saw that there was nothing here. And that is a passion for me. That is where my passion is giving everybody the chance, giving everybody the means of getting whatever they want as much as possible. It's not perfect, can never be perfect.
That's true. That's powerful. I felt that to my bones. Okay, so I have another question for everyone. And the question is, what is a myth about autism that you've had to personally unlearn?
Do you want me to go first? Okay, so what I would say is a number of years ago, there was a study that was written, some research that is actually been debunked, where they said that the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination causes autism. So I am on social media. I don't have such big following as Mrs. Ifeami here. I'm a baby to it, just because I'm not that great at social media. But you still hear people say today that the reason why your child, or because I have two children, the reason why those children have autism is because of the MMR jab. And I had that actually maybe a month ago on my TikTok, and I had to block the person, because what I don't want to do is for that anyone else to see that and believe it's true. And I'll say it here, it doesn't. So people should do their research properly. It's nothing to do with the MMR jab, and that they shouldn't continue to spread that. It's because it's, as we'll say, as Donald Trump is, fake news. Thank you very much.
I think a myth about autism that I believed prior, that I've come to disbelieve now, is that when I started on this journey, I believe that that is a child that was autistic, could come out of autism. Yes, because of the collapse of their deficits and maybe a reduction of their behavioral excesses. But I find that it is neurological. It simply means that someone is seeing things not the way you are, and their perspective is different, and that is important. So I say to parents that someone can be a professor and still be autistic, and yes, so it's something that is part of who they are. You can't drain it out. It's not. It doesn't go with the transfer. Like you just take it out and you fill it in something else. Absolutely not. Yes. Thank you.
Let's hear from you.
Um, so I'm going to talk from the Nigerian family where I'm coming from. Actually, so the myth and the things my parent believed it was like it's spiritual. So if you have this thing that they call it is a spiritual thing, and then we have to pray. We have to bring fire and blood. Maybe it will go away, and then you get to see people on my comment section or my DM telling me to join Pastor Jerry. Sorry, join a live stream. Pray with one of these pastors, and then it will go away. It's a general thing. They always say that. They always say that. So at first, growing up, I used to believe that maybe it's spiritual, but growing up and learning from people that are advanced, it's not. So yeah, thank you.
Very deep. Sarah, thank you.
Well, I'm going to go from a very, very broad perspective in the sense that with Nigerians believe, we are here in Nigeria, we're talking about the Nigerian aspect of things. They believe religion, the Babalawo can do something, your prayers will do something. People aspire to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, and whatnot, but not everybody becomes an engineer or a lawyer. People are born with one arm, two, some don't even have any, but they still live their life. There's so many people who are deficient in so many ways, deficient in our understanding of life, but they still live a life. It doesn't make the autistic person different. They are just like every one of us. Our deficiencies are exposed in different ways. This is another learning curve for us. This is another help we need to give to the autistic society.
I like how you always keep that. I guess this deep thing about I love it. Well done. Thank you very much. So I have a very funny question, but I want to take your time to listen and give me back an answer. So each of you come from very different backgrounds. So what strength do you think collaboration gives to autism inclusion? You come from a different background, so there's a reason you come from somewhere. You come from the UK, you come from Nigeria. So what strength do you see in collaboration? I think you're collaborating now. So what do you think collaboration does to autism inclusion? Telling people about autism, the inclusion, the awareness. What does collaboration? What strength does it give to autism inclusion?
Now, because we are from different societies, we're different from communities and everything, the way things are done in every community is totally different. And the more we link them together, the better the future is for everyone.
Very solid. Oh my god, I received it and I'm like, that's very true. The more we do things together, the more, just it helps us because we're doing it together. The more we're laying it together, there's this clarity that comes from, oh, I'm coming from here, I'm coming from here, putting it together, and it's just changing the society. Awesome. Thank you very much for that answer.
I would say for me, in anything you're going to do, you need to have other people from different backgrounds because I have different expertise. So I won't have the same expertise as Ifeami. I won't have the same expertise as Tinu. Or my husband also have different expertise. I think we all understand what autism is. We understand what we need to put in place for us to empower people on the autism spectrum to be more independent. By us coming together, we're doing it from like a multidisciplinary kind of approach. I'm trying to go into my work now, so I'll try not to. And it means that the child or the individual with autism has a holistic and kind of a enclosed, maybe that's not the right word I'm looking for, but they have that wraparound support. So by us getting together, we know what the differences are in Nigeria. We know that actually diagnosis rate is quite low. Those are the things that we want to target. We all want the same endpoint. So I think us working together, we'll be able to make a small dent in society.
Thank you very much. Okay, ma'am.
So a collaboration for me is really, really important because how do they say it in Yoruba? One hand cannot lift a burden onto the head, so there's strength in coming together and trying to do things and figuring things out. So collaboration is strength. Collaboration is value, giving people value, everyone coming to contribute, because that's what we're talking about, inclusion. It's giving everybody the chance to do something. It is also knowing that the solution is not just from your own perspective. It's not just from your own perspective, because there's this thing about, I'm a behavior analyst, so everything I see behaviorally. I see it from only one point of view, so like Mr. Dick, you see his own point of view is different, and it's completely different. So people, shallow, so you can see the difference. And you can even see the difference right here of the collaboration. 3 of us are female. Every time he speaks, his own point is different because he's thinking, do you know what I mean? So that is what comes from collaboration. It's the same end goal, but different people are contributing, and because different people are contributing, the dish or the dish is quite flavorful, and it's quite it's more filling. Yes.
Dish is quite flavorful and it's more flavorful. I love that. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to say much. She has already said everything I wanted to say. It's like coming from different perspective, and when you collaborate, you're seeing something, you're learning, you're putting it out for people to see from other area. Like we coming together for people to listen. They're watching from outside. Like people are watching, and then they're learning from her. I'm also learning from her. I'm learning from her, and I'm learning from him. There are a lot of things that I've learned, and then when coming together and collaborating and putting it out there, people learn and see. Okay, this is not working from my perspective, or this is how I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm learning from this side, and I'm learning from this side. So she said everything I was going to say. Yes.
It's not half baked, it's full.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What do you think? What do you think of the future? What do you think will happen in the future? Like, let's say just imagine this is 2030 or 2025. What do you believe the future will be about autism? Awareness. What do you believe is a dream for that future? For example, let's say I see myself doing something on advocate or anything, or better still, we're seeing people much more in jobs, working, or maybe in education. There's better clarity in the curriculums. So what do you see? What do you see?
Or you want it?
Okay. So for me, I think for the future, what I would like is for children, for early, for there to be better early detection, for there to be a lot more screening, for there to be a lot more myths debunked, so that parents are more confident to embrace whatever it is that their children are, and the society is more equipped to make it more inclusive for the children. The schools, the curriculum is more inclusive, the society is more inclusive. People on the spectrum do not feel so, well, they're not seen as different. Yes, they're seen as part of a whole.
I think the biggest expectation is that people understand and create the space for autistic people. It's not just about my own kids or I have an autistic child or what can you do. It's what everybody does to accommodate them, for them to live amongst us, with us, work with us, and live a better life. It's just the togetherness is the end goal.
So I guess for me is so in the future, I wouldn't want a parent to go through what I went through. So coming from the UK, and people think that we're such a forward-thinking country, we're very innovative. Yes, we are. But actually, I have two children diagnosed with autism. When my first son, who's 17, got diagnosed at 3 years old, it hasn't changed when my 9-year-old got diagnosed at 3 years old. I still had to fight. I still had to fight and have a voice as a parent to say, my child, something's going on. I was told by professionals that I was overreacting. I was a first-time mum, but the second time around, it was exactly the same. So a waiting list at the moment in the UK can be up to 5 years for a child to get assessed for autism. In those 5 years, your child is going to regress dramatically. If you're not a parent that understands the system, that educates themselves, or somebody who is going to fight the system. My son, who's 17, was out of school recently for 8 months. I had to fight for him to be in college. I had to go to court, and I'm in the UK. So what I would want for people in the future is for for it to be the norm. So we're coming in, I'm not having to make an excuse. If you go out somewhere, I've got a child, oh, he's autistic, if my child does something. Because at the moment, that's it. You feel like you have to constantly apologize. And I think, yeah, tell them, say, okay, this is why he's acting like this. But you want people to have the awareness. They know, but you want them to accept it. Acceptance means that people, as he said, as Tinu has said, they're accepted into a society and it's the norm. We go to school, it's the norm. You're in an organization, it's the norm. So that's what I would want for the future.
What am I always saying? Okay, so in the future for me, growing up in a society here, they don't have knowledge of what autism is. So in the future, I hope everyone has the knowledge and everyone knows and understands it. Even if they don't have a child with autism, they just have the knowledge of it and understand it and treat everyone equally and, give them the chance. So acceptance, open-minded, safe space. That is what I want for everyone. Having a sibling that is older with autism, I don't want to start explaining to people, oh, she's autistic, or I don't want people to look at her because every time they stare at her, like something wrong with her. So I want people to understand this thing. In the future, they should like, okay, it's normal. Like everyone should just have that safe space.
All working and collaborating together. I believe in 2030, people would already understand this. Well done, well done. Thank you very much. So I have a final question to you before we now have another final question. But this question is, what is one small action you want to tell someone watching online or that watch this video, one small action you can do to make their community inclusive? Just one small action. Maybe it is to do something to that neighbor, do something or not do something, or get better education, attend webinars, go to workshop. It doesn't matter if you are autistic or you have somebody who's autistic, just to get better understanding. Or what do you want to say? One small action you can do.
So I might say, so coming from a parent's perspective, if you're out somewhere in a public place or a supermarket, wherever it may be, on transport, and you see an individual having a meltdown, I would want them, instead of staring, go up to that parent and say, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Because believe me, it helps a lot. I would say that, and that's a, very very minor thing that you can do. Yes.
That's very true. Thank you very much. Go to that parent and tell them you need help.
Well, like she just explained, the biggest thing I think for me personally is just take away that judgment in your mind. Just take it away. You have a kid that is misbehaving. You don't have to stare. You don't have to, restrict or do anything. Just let them be. We live in a world where we're becoming too restrictive in our ways. We should just let them be. Create the avenue for them, and that's it.
Okay. um, have empathy. Yes, just have that human empathy. Just that's all I can say. Yes, that's all. That's all. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
So I will say to anyone who is watching right now, no matter who you are, if you're a teacher, you're a market person, wherever you are, make sure that the environment where you find yourself, you're doing something to make everybody comfortable. Yes, you're making, yes, to make everyone comfortable. Yes, you do not have to understand them, but to make sure that try to make them comfortable. Yes, and listen.
And listen, that's the part. And listen, thank you very much. I have a final question. Final question is, what is your take to everybody listening? What's something you want to tell about autism? What's something you want to give a point on? What is something you want to say? And before we say that, we're going to end this with a, should I say, a quote or a word or a something just to give that person who's currently a caregiver or a parent. I see you and I celebrate you. You're doing amazing. We're here for you. Just something solid that someone can hold on to and say, I got this from today's webinar, today's workshop. So
For me, I want everybody to understand one thing. If you're a carer, if you're a parent, a teacher, you're not alone. We're all one. We should all come out. There's no struggles you can't escape without dialogue.
Okay. I would say that, being from a parent's perspective, I would say it's important to tell people when you're not okay, and it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. You shouldn't feel embarrassed or ashamed because we can't all do it. I know that I'm not the best person to say that, but I think there is, and what I'd like to say for anybody who's just started to navigate the journey of autism is there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It might look really, really tiny and faint, but it's there. And as you progress and you've got the right resources in place, that you'll begin to see the bigger light. And it's a journey. It has its ups and its downs. And we definitely, I know as a parent, I still have a cry because some days are harder than others, but you'll get there.
Okay, coming from a sibling perspective, please include them in everything. Do not be embarrassed and ashamed of them. Take them out, have a good time, expose them, tell them things, have conversations with them, just make them feel comfortable, make them feel like they're not left out. Love them, love them. So whenever anything happens, they can come back to you and have the same conversation with you. Don't be ashamed of your sibling or of your child. Don't be embarrassed. Take them to the park. Let them run around and have a good time. That's all I can say. Thank you.
For me as a professional, what I would say to parents, and that I always say to parents, is that it's a marathon, it's not a dash. There's no magical wand. There's no magical pill to take and autism goes away. It's very important that parents know this or the caregivers know this. So make sure that you are on the right therapy, on the right path. Okay, don't entertain quacks. Okay, whoever you're working with, make sure that you can trace their certification. Make sure that you have people that are trained, because a person who is trained that is programming for a 4-year-old will think about the 16-year-old in the 4-year-old, as opposed to a quack who just sees your 4-year-old. Yes, so it is so critical that parents. So there are lots of associations. There are lots of places. We have the Association of Behavior Analysis. We have speech therapists. Just you can test. You can know that somebody is properly trained just with a Google search. So don't hand over your words to quacks, people who are not trained, who just went to get some lessons on YouTube and have now just become authorities in something. Don't do that. You can go to Luth. You go to government hospitals. You can see neuropediatricians. You can see child and adolescent psychiatrists there. You will take time, but you will see the right people, and they will point you in the right direction. There is an autism center in Luth. And these are places where the cost is not so much. There are lots of NGOs. Just educate yourself. Educate yourself and know that it's not a dash, it's a marathon, that you will have to play your part. So find a proper therapy for your child and stick with it. Yes, and stick with it, because what happens is that parents try something, and that is because they think there's a magical pill somewhere, but there isn't. You need to just stick to doing something. Okay? So I encourage parents to do that. Don't patronize quacks. Remember that you're dealing with a human being. You're talking about your child. A human being. It's not a robot. It's not a doll. That 2-year-old is not going to be a cute 2-year-old all their life. That's why you need to be going to the right people. Yes? All right.
So, does anybody have any other thing they want to say or share?
Yeah, there's only one more issue I have. When I say issue, men in autistic families, we need to understand that the women cannot do it by themselves. We took part in that process of bringing the child to this world. I'm a man. I can easily run away, but running away does not help anybody. You've brought the children to this world, and it's your destiny. It's the expectation that you give them as much as you can. Stop running away. Most of us just give up and we can't handle it. Life itself is not easy. So men, all men, please join and make this an easier life for
Yes, so my final thoughts would be watch out for those, I don't want to say signs, but just know that there is a there are developmental milestones for children. Find out where your child should be. So you have a child who is not name responding, meaning when you call them, they are not turning to their name. They're not showing that affect. You smile at some point, they're not smiling back. Disproportionate tantruming. You take something from them. There should be a child should protest when you take something, but it should not be disproportionate. So, and then you have this fixation with maybe the child just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, and you want to stop them, and it's a meltdown. Their food patterns are really streamlined. They only had like one particular texture. So it's just so when you begin to see these things, don't pray. Don't pray it away. Yes, and it's also good to let people know that autism co-presents with other things. Because a lot of times people see something and say, "Oh, it's now autism." No. Everything is autism co-presents with other things. One of the things that will co-present with, it can be cerebral palsy, it can be down. Somebody who has autism can have Down syndrome. So that autism can have the one that is mostly hidden is intellectual disability. And it can be quite debilitating for. So a child has autism and they have severe intellectual disability. So it makes certain things more difficult for them to get, to understand. So it's good for parents to understand that everything is not on top of the head of autism, And aggression. I also want to tell parents that aggression is not part of autism. It's something that a child learns to cope, and because it's a learned behavior, it can also be unlearned with the proper therapy. So look out for those things, look out for those developmental milestones, make sure your child is doing, and if you see that they are not, once you're a parent and your instinct is saying something is wrong, something in 90% of the time it is wrong, try and get the right therapy. Yes.
This was a very wonderful panel session. I learned a lot in just these few minutes we able to share together. So I want to put hand on your chest and say, I'm amazing. I'm
Amazing.
Of what I do. I'm amazing at what I do.
I'm amazing at what I do.
Hi. I mean, my books, or should I say, my hands were literally shaking from what I received, the insights on inclusion, on how you can do things together with dialogue, how you have to include them, care for them, love them, and how parents as well needs to also be checked upon. Like if somebody's currently having a child who's going through an aggression period or anything, please ask the parent. Don't just stare. Don't stare and don't say it's spiritual. Wow. You can't pray anything away. You can't pray autism away. Sorry. You can't pray autism away. You can only just try to have better therapy and cope with it. So with this point of mine, I want to say we've come to the end of today's program. But much more, I want to say thank you for everyone who has joined us live. I appreciate you and I love you. My name is Glory, and I also want to say a very big thank you to the Autism Circle of Support for putting this up together. I also want to say thank you to our speakers, to Tinuola Olaya, to Ifeimi Dunu, to Joy Dunu as well, to Charlotte Dick, and also Mr. Philip Dick. Thank you very much for putting this up together. We love you and appreciate you. From me to you, as always, is don't forget to always smile, and much more than that, do good wherever you go. Bye. Thank you. It's been good doing business with you. I'm not giving you no. Are we still alive? What was it? That's what I said. Sorry, what was it? Let us walk down. Wait, generator should open it. Come, generator. Fan, forget about it.
We done.